Should you get a travel credit card with a low annual fee or a high annual fee? Or should you get a cashback credit card that gives you 5% back in specific categories or 2% back on everything? Or should you get an airline credit card or a hotel credit card? If you're a little bit confused, you're not alone. Hey everyone, it's Mark. I'm here to help you put more money in your pocket through credit cards and smart financial habits. If that sounds good to you, then do me a quick favor and click on the like and subscribe button down below. Also, if you're interested in starting your own online business to increase your income and have me guide you through the process, check out the link in the description below. So between these general travel cards and cashback credit cards and specific airline or hotel cards or secured credit cards or student credit cards, and the list goes on, which one should you get? I've got an answer that actually might surprise you. Choosing a credit card is a lot like choosing what to wear for the day. If you take a look outside your window, you notice something. People dress differently. And guess what? People also spend their money differently and live different lifestyles. So if you've ever noticed how you wear a bathing suit to the beach, jeans and a t-shirt on a casual day, or a formal suit and tie to a big event, then you're on to something. Essentially, you can think of your credit cards like an accessory that you wear. One card does not fit all spending habits. One card does not fit all people. And there's not one best credit card. In fact, the credit card that you use could change based on what you're doing that day. Now, for those of you who want to answer up front in terms of which credit card you should get, here's the answer. You should get a credit card that rewards you best for where you spend the most, that gives you the types of rewards that you value. And for those of you who would like a more detailed explanation to unpack what all of this means and to give some very specific examples of what this looks like, stay with me till the end. It's time for a disclaimer. The following recommendations are not hard rules to follow. Rather, they are general guidelines. Exceptions do exist, and a few examples of some exceptions may be getting a credit card for the sign-up bonus alone, or getting a credit card for temporary perks and benefits. For example, if you got a couple of flights coming up on an airline that you don't normally fly and you want some free checked bags and priority boarding, maybe you get that airline credit card and then cancel it a year later. But for the purposes of this video, in general, what we're talking about here is getting the right cards that you want to keep long-term to reward you with long-term value. And to do that, I'm going to break this video down into 5 tips. Tip number 1, if you're applying for your first card ever, get a secured credit card or a student credit card if you're in school. The reason for this is because they offer easy approvals and the focus is on building credit, not rewards. And in general, I recommend building your credit for a full year with these types of cards before moving into a lot of other cards that are rewards focused. Now, while you can definitely get a few cards in your first year while you're building up, I still recommend building a full year to get your score as high as possible and that initial length of history solidified a bit before you start submitting a lot more applications for rewards cards to save money on travel or to put a lot of cash back in your pocket. The reason for that is because a lot of those travel rewards cards or more premium cards are often a lot easier to get once you have some credit history built up. Tip number 2. Identify the categories in which you spend most of your money each month. And below you'll see several examples like supermarkets, restaurants and bars, gas stations, etc. This is not an exhaustive list, but more just to generate some ideas of where you spend your money. And this is extremely important. For example, don't go get a cashback card that gives you like 4 or 5% back on dining if you only shop at supermarkets and eat at home. The same holds true with a Southwest Airlines credit card. Don't go get one of those if you never fly Southwest. By first identifying where you spend most of your money, it'll then help you identify the credit cards that have bonus categories like 3% or 4% cashback or points in those same categories. Then you can start matching your spending habits with certain credit cards that work really well together. Tip number 3, determine the type of rewards and benefits you prefer. When it comes to the rewards part of the equation, it's basically cashback or travel rewards. Travel rewards meaning points and miles. And benefits include things like credits, elite status, VIP access to certain things, perhaps insurance coverages, etc. While perks and benefits are nice, I put more emphasis on the rewards type that I'm earning. There's a big difference between cashback and travel rewards points and miles. And to give you a broad understanding of that, check this out. Cashback is cashback, but when it comes to travel points, there are 4 main types. Airline miles give you the best value when redeeming with one airline and or its airline partners that may be in the same airline alliance. An example of this would be United Mileage Plus. Therefore, using your United miles for a United flight or a flight within United's alliance, that's called the Star Alliance, will give you the best value here. Next up, we have hotel points. Those give you the best value when redeeming with one hotel company. An example here would be Marriott Bonvoy. Third is flexible points. Those give you equal value when redeeming for any flight, any hotel, rental car, cruise, etc. An example of this would be the Wells Fargo Go Far Rewards program. And lastly, we have transferable points. Those give you the best value when converting from bank points to partner airline miles or partner hotel points. An example here is the Chase Ultimate Rewards system. Now do note that some points are flexible and transferable, namely Amex Membership Rewards points, Capital One Venture Miles, Chase Ultimate Rewards points, and Citi Thank You points. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the differences between cashback and travel points, specifically the differences of those four types that I just mentioned on the screen there, I did a separate video on that. I'll be sure to link it in the description below. And I highly recommend you go watch that one because it goes much more in depth on that topic than we'll be able to cover in this video. So in the spirit of keeping things very simple, basically you have cashback, which is just cashback, and then you have points and miles. You have specific ones, so if you're planning a trip to Hawaii and you know exactly the hotel you're going to stay at and exactly the airline that's going to take you there, then it could make a lot of sense to get that specific hotel card and specific airline card. That also holds true if you're very loyal to that airline or hotel. However, if you're not loyal to any specific program, or if you don't really have any plans for travel yet and you want to leave yourself wide open to a lot of possibilities, then going with those flexible or transferable points are a great way to go because they give you access to so many different options and programs. All right, tip number 4. Apply for the cards that give you the most rewards in the areas you spend. What you want to do here is look for the cards that give you triple points or 3% cashback or better in specific categories. And if you have a lot of non-bonus spend in categories that are not covered by most cards, then you might want to consider a card that earns double points or 2% cashback on everything. So for example, if you spend a lot on dining, entertainment, and utilities, and value cashback rewards, then consider getting a card like the Capital One Saver Rewards card and the Citi Double Cash card. Those cards would work extremely well together for you because you could use that Capital One Saver card to get 4% cashback on all dining and entertainment purchases, and then the Citi Double Cash card to get 2% back on all of your utility purchases. Now we've got our final tip. If there are Chase cards you want, get those first. And the reason for that is the 524 rule. Basically what that means is Chase will automatically deny any credit card application if you've opened up 5 or more cards with any bank that appear on your credit report within the last 24 months. So if you go out and apply for 2 Bank of America cards, 1 Wells Fargo card, and 2 American Express cards, and assuming all of these are personal cards that appear on your credit report, then you'll be locked out of Chase cards for up to 24 months, or at least until one of those cards becomes 2 years old or older and falls off that 2-year time frame. In short, you need to have opened up 4 or fewer cards in the last 24 months in order to be eligible to apply for another Chase credit card. Now to wrap everything up for you and make it all very simple, here are all 5 tips up on the screen. Number 1, if you're applying for your first card ever, get a secured credit card or a student credit card if you're in school to start building credit. Then going forward, identify the categories in which you spend most of your money each month. Next, determine the type of rewards and benefits you prefer. Then apply for the cards that give you the most rewards in the areas you spend. And finally, if there are Chase cards you want, get those first. Now to give you a visual example of how this all looks in practice, here are some categories that you might spend in and some corresponding cards that give you high rewards in those categories. For example, if you spend a lot of money at supermarkets, then you might want to look into getting the Amex Blue Cash Everyday, Amex Blue Cash Preferred, or Amex Gold Card. The Blue Cash Everyday will give you 3% cash back at grocery stores up to $6,000 spent per year. The Blue Cash Preferred gets you 6% cash back on up to $6,000 spent per year. And the Gold Card gives you 4 points per dollar on up to $25,000 spent per year. Then if you eat out a lot at restaurants, the US Bank Altitude Go card gives you 4 points per dollar, the Capital One Saver Rewards gives you 4% cash back, and the TD Cash Credit Card gives you 3% cash back. And you can go on down the line and view the other categories as well. Then I have the secured credit cards at the bottom, the Discover It Secured Credit Card, Citi Secured MasterCard, and Secured MasterCard from Capital One are great options. And the same would go for the student cards as well. I just ran out of room on the slide here, but if you just do a quick search for some of the best student credit cards, you'll find some great options from these banks as well. Hopefully this video gave you a great understanding of how to look for the next best credit card for you. And if the last 2 slides that showed you all the 5 steps, plus the actual credit card examples helped you a lot, feel free to go back and screenshot those, save them somewhere, or refer back to it in the future. Again, credit cards are like an accessory that you wear. You may dress differently than somebody else, and how you dress may vary from one day to the next. And the same holds true with credit cards as well. The card that I use may be different than the card that you use, which may be different than the card that your neighbor uses. It all boils down to where you spend your money and the types of rewards that you value. So ask yourself, where do you spend and what do you want to achieve? Then go apply for the card that matches that. And of course, if you're debating between 2 or more cards, then be sure to check back on this channel because I do in-depth reviews and comparisons all the time. All that said, if you enjoyed this video and believe it could benefit others, then please help me get it in front of more people by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description below. Those are referral links, so if you value the information that I put inside these videos, I appreciate it if you use those for your applications. You'll also find another link down there to help you start your own online business and have me guide you through the process. Be sure to check that one out. And before you go off to watch other YouTube videos, I would love to know which card you have your eye on to apply for next. Tell me below in those comments. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope it brought you some great value. I'll see you again in future videos, and until then, remember, you are great. Multi-card drop test. Oh yeah.